Norris to the left then. West to the right. As we come to 5 lights in Qatar. Lights and away we go. A poor start from West on the initial getaway. Norris has a very good run coming up towards turn 1. And well, George Russell tucking in behind on West. I think he's been forced off and goes wide. It's not been a good start at all for the Ferrari. And well, West all the way through the first few corners now is dropping down like a stone. Joshua Pearce gets ahead and up into 5th. But Lando Norris leads the way. A perfect start from him. In the Papaya McLaren here in Qatar, Russell follows. Then Sainz, then Verstappen, then West, Pearce. A Haas. And then Albon, and the 2 side by side, that's going to be Hayes and Alonso in the middle with Piastri in there too. Hamilton down in 18th for not enjoying this grid penalty he's had with this new engine. And well, this is a perfect start for Lando Norris. He can control the pace. He's forced West down, and well, look at him as he comes through turn 11 now, and well, onto the main 12, 13, 14, the left-hander. We're on riding next to Alex Albon, sorry, in the Williams. Verstappen and West in behind as well, and this is all but perfect for Oscar Piastri, Lewis Hamilton, and also Max Verstappen too. We come on to the last corner then. Albon will be under pressure then from Max Verstappen as we come around the last corner onto the long pit straight. Verstappen pulls to the right hand side on Alex Albon. West might also try and have a look down the inside, trying to regain some ground. Albon under pressure then, last of the late breakers. West tries the inside, carbon fibre going flying, and I think West has lost a bit of his front wing. That's a huge bit of front wing he's lost. And now, lap 2 of the Grand Prix, he's falling down and dropping even further down through the field. A horror start for the Ferrari driver. And now, Norris, Russell and Verstappen. Verstappen's in the top 3. This could not be perfect. In the weekend, he could drop out of the World Championship, and polystyrene going everywhere with the brake marker boards. He's going to have to stop at some point here. And well, he's off the track everywhere. And I think West, oh, he's lost more front wing as well. He's off into the gravel. And now, can he keep it out? Can he keep it going? I think he can just about, but this is a horror start for West. Lap 2, he's down to last place in the Grand Prix. And Hamilton, in the meantime, Piastri and Verstappen will be licking their lips at the prospect of this. The championship battle is about to get so much closer. If Lewis Hamilton can get into the top 10 today and score some points, Verstappen's going to make big ground. Piastri also with this. But Lando Norris, lap 3 of the Grand Prix now. The first DRS zone has come into play. And well, we're going to have a look now at Joshua Pearce in 4th position. Albon putting him under pressure. And the APX GP driver on the medium tyres is going to be forced all the way to the outside by the Thai driver. And now, I think that's going to be that. But West is coming in. And well, it's going to be hard tyres for him now. I don't see him coming back through the field. This is a hard circuit to come back through. And who knows if it's just front wing damage too. Could be some bodywork in there too that they're going to need to keep an eye on for the rest of the Grand Prix. But as he comes out to the end of the pit lane, it's going to be a big gap to Gabriel Bortoleto in the Sauber. And to his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Even bigger to Lando Norris now as well, who's just coming out of turn 11 now and onto the right-handers at 12, 13 and 14. But it's been a perfect start for McLaren, a perfect start for Lando Norris, who is desperately after a win this season. And well, Albon and Pearce did win out in the end, but Alex Albon will have another dose of DRS. And so will the many drivers behind him, including Oscar Piastri too, as he looks to try and make some moves up the field. We're going to go on board with Oscar Piastri as he looks to try and get past Sonny Hayes down towards turn number 1. Is it going to be close enough? Not quite to be, but Ocon in the meantime upwards to the field, trying to get past Alex Albon. The hunter becomes the hunted. And now on lap 4 of the Grand Prix, Alex Albon trying to hold the outside as we come up towards turn 4. A quick right-hander, and will the two of them still side by side. Albon all the way to the outside and pushed all the way by Esteban Ocon, but holds out the position. And well, the tyre driver will not be pleased with that, because he's now lost his gap that he so desperately was enjoying to Joshua Pearce. Well, the top three now separated by just over 4.5 seconds, so it's going to be an interesting turn of events, maybe some play of strategy for each of these drivers, but well, we'll have to see a bit further down the line. But Oscar Piastri, in the meantime, could make some big gains. His sprint win yesterday helped him so much in his World Championship hopes. And now, with the situation we have at hand, no, Westwood made a stop already, so he's going to make some gains, but on the hard tyre already and go long in the race. Esteban Ocon, though, to the outside of Alex Albon, and also Carlos Sainz in the meantime, just side by side with his Williams teammate. Is this going to be enough for the Spaniard, the smooth operator? Up the inside he goes and pushes Albon all the way to the outside. And well, on lap 5 here in Qatar, Albon drops 2 positions in the first sector. And Oscar Piastri at the minute, well, 1 point behind, 20 points now off Lewis Hamilton. But if he's to stay here, he's got to make some moves up through the field, so this is where it's going to get interesting. Max Verstappen in the meantime jumps Oscar Piastri in the championship and closes the gap to West, but to 16 points. There's going to be one to keep an eye on, but Piastri in the meantime, I think, enjoying the news that the 2 Ferraris are out of the points. But, well, Lewis Hamilton is right on the back, though, of Kimi Antonelli. Coming through into the last sector now. And, well, Hamilton will be putting him all the way under pressure. But this is a huge DRS train all the way behind Esteban Ocon and Carlos Sainz. But I don't think it's going to last for long, because we'll soon get some pit stops. But this has been an interesting battle so far. Some moves maybe up and down the field. Coming down towards turn 1, but not quite to be. Looking in the background, Nico Hulkenberg down the inside of Oliver Behrman in the Haas. And well, it's not quite to be for Nico Hulkenberg. Oliver Behrman gets past. And well, looking towards the front of the field now, Max Verstappen looking at maybe trying to pass George Russell. This would be big for the World Championship too. 3 extra points that he might so desperately need when it comes to Abu Dhabi next time out. Don't miss it. December 19th, your big finale here on Westie TV. And well, Piastri is kind of stuck in this DRS train. You need some pit stops to try and make some moves up through the field. But Max Verstappen in the meantime will follow through as we come through the last sector. And he looks like he's really enjoying this. Qatar is a really difficult circuit to drive. It's a car, you really want the car to be almost on rails as it glides through the corners. But now Max Verstappen is on the pit straight, DRS open, on the back of George Russell, one of his rivals from so many battles over the seasons we go. And Verstappen up to P2 in the Grand Prix, and will now go chasing Lando Norris for the race victory. Well, we'll have a look further down. Oscar Piastri still trying it on Sonny Hayes, but he's stuck in behind Alex Albon, who's starting to drop down a bit through the field. Well, Oscar Piastri is not making much gains on those soft tyres, but he will have to stop earlier in comparison to the drivers around him. Hayes and Albon and Alonso especially are those on the mediums. So we'll have to see how the next few laps plays out. But up the front, lap 7 of 29 here in Qatar. Norris, Verstappen, Russell, Pearce, Sainz, Ocon, Alonso, Albon, Hayes and Piastri your top 10. In terms of the championship contenders, Verstappen in P2, 18 points ahead, and will now close the gap to West to 13 points. Piastri closes down to 20 points in the gap in the championship. West makes no points difference. He'd be stuck on 364 as it stands. Lewis Hamilton, in the meantime, not making any dent into West's World Championship hopes, which means we might have an all-timer in Abu Dhabi if it was to stay this way. But anything can happen in 22 laps. And Oscar Piastri, in the meantime, is right now on the back of Sonny Hayes. And will it be time this time for Oscar Piastri to maybe make a move? At the straight line speed of the APX GP, and Albon is really trying to defend this one. Will right on board of Piastri as they come through turn 1. This long sweeping right-hander into the left-hander, and Hayes is trying to push Albon all the way, but it's not quite to be. Piastri then tucks in behind, and the two of them, well, excellent racing between Albon and Hayes. Kept it fair, kept it clean. And, well, the experience of Sonny Hayes certainly showing in that little moment there. But George Russell 5 frames behind Max Verstappen at the minute, so maybe it might be time we might see some moves up the front again. But coming through turns 10 and 11 now, and Pierce up in P4, 9 seconds adrift off the top 3. Might be starting to see him drop back a bit now as well. Oscar Piastri, in the meantime, is close to Sonny Hayes once more, and will need to make this move. He needs to try and get up the field quickly, because these soft tyres do not last forever. George Russell's going past Max Verstappen into turn 1, and well, Verstappen's being pushed to the outside, and Russell, well, he was falling back down on the medium tyre yesterday in the sprint, but this time around, Max Verstappen drops to P3 on the soft tyre. And finally, I think we're seeing Oscar Piastri as well get past Alex Albon, finally into turn 1. And that will just about be that. So now, Piastri, are the soft tyres starting to take effect for the Australian World Championship contender? We will now need to see how, as well, this pit strategy does play out. Do you one-stop it? Do you go right to the end on a set of hard tyres? As West, I don't think will do 27 laps on a set of hards, not here. Especially not with the 25 lap tyre limits we have here in Qatar this weekend. Pirelli, of course, enforcing the rules, and a bit of a tank slap or an exit for Oscar Piastri. Max Verstappen is slowly dropping off a little bit. Norris, Russell, Verstappen stay out. Pierce, in the meantime, he's running extremely well for the APX GP team. Across the line we come onto the pit straight, and Esteban Ocon is getting closer and closer and closer to Carlos Sainz. To the inside he tries, but Sainz with a good block to defend. Piastri also now past Hayes and will make the move up through the field. So, no stop still for any of the top 10. But Oscar Piastri is starting to move up through the field and starting to make a dent into the two Ferraris' championship lead. So then, let's have a look at Lewis Hamilton then. 1.1 seconds behind Andrea Kimi Antonelli. And well, Yuki Tsunoda is almost holding up Antonelli here. This might be a big gamesmanship from Red Bull. Are we sure? Potentially. Backing Antonelli into Hamilton to try and cause trouble. It's not something you can do around here. You can do it at Abu Dhabi next week. Sergio Perez did it so effectively in 2021 to stop the man you're seeing on screen here from potentially winning his 8th World Championship. And I think Liam Lawson has boxed. So West is now within 5 seconds of the next car. And I'll tell you what, that is not the most overwhelming advantage, I must say. And there is a box from Yuki Tsunoda's in, sorry. So Tsunoda's done his job. He comes into the pits to bin off those soft tyres. And I think there's actually a few more as well. Oh, look at Hulkenberg down the inside on Isaac Hadjar, pushing him all the way to the outside of turn 1. And gets the move done. The Sauber that's going to become Audi next year forces Hadjar out. And that is perfect stuff from the German. Lewis Hamilton, 12th for the minute, and, well, not far off the points at all. He'll get past Albon, and he'll be on the back of Pierre Gasly. Remember, Hamilton in the points, if he finishes higher than 8th, finishes higher than 7th, he could get within, or take the lead of the championship if it was to stay as is. It's entirely possible this could happen. Kimi Antonelli, in the meantime, though, tucked up on the back of Lewis Hamilton, and I think we are going to see some stops soon. Norris, Russell, Verstappen, no stops yet. So here's signs on Joshua Pearce, and Pearce holding the outside for 4th position and gets it a little bit wrong, a little squirm on exit. But Pearce and Sainz swap positions in the first sector. Up towards turn 4 they go, and well, Hamilton is now into the points. So this does have a twist in the tail for the championship then. Huge gains on West then in his championship lead. Well, right on board with Joshua Pearce now, following up through turn 7 and round again. Of course, you might see all these massive curbs and all these G-forces and the drivers moving their heads about. Well, it is just an incredible circuit, but it was originally designed for the MotoGP, so it's held WEC events. It's also now holding Formula 1 since 2021. Of course, had the break in 22 because of the Qatar World Cup, held in December. And, well, Max Verstappen into the pits then. So, hard tyres on for Max Verstappen. And straight out again. And Oscar Piastri also in. So, early stops from 2 of the championship contenders who need to make some gains in the World Championship today. Hard tyres, Oscar Piastri. So, decent from Jack Doohan, sadly, DNF. And there he is, Jack Doohan, out of the Qatar Grand Prix. And we've had a freeze in telemetry, apologies. And that shouldn't bring out any safety cars, but in the meantime, West going deep into the final corners, turn 15, but West can now probably see Verstappen and Piastri in his sights. 13 seconds the gap between Verstappen and Piastri, but Piastri can close down that gap very quickly if he wants to. It might not necessarily be about finishing ahead of your championship rival. It's about the points you pick up in doing so. Lando Norris then coming in to the pits, and well, here we go. Lando Norris then followed in by George Russell, and we'll see how this goes for the Papaya McLaren team. Medium tyres off, hard tyres go on. See how it goes for George Russell too. Hard tyres on for George Russell, and well, Carlos Sainz is going to lead a Formula 1 Grand Prix lap this year. Incredible stuff from Carlos Sainz, and strategies come to play about. And Lewis Hamilton, another championship contender, in for Ferrari. Hard tyres go on and comes out the pits. Nice stuff from the Ferrari pit crews. They've done brilliant this year to try and cut down on their pit stop times and also work on their strategies. I'll tell you what, it has been working. It has been working. But Lewis Hamilton in 14th. There are going to be still some more stops to make. So don't fret, don't worry at home if you're supporting any of these drivers. There's still a few more stops to go. Antonelli, Behrman, Alonso, Pierce and Sainz still to stop. So, well, it does put actually Hamilton and West within 4 seconds of each other. See how West is doing and checking in, and I think going wide and going past track limits once more. But for the Ferrari team then, halfway through this race, and well, we have a race on our hands here for the World Championship at stake. If West was to finish and all three of these were to retire, he would be champion here in Qatar today. And so then, let's have a look forward then. And I think now Behrman, Antonelli, Alonso also in the pit. Slow stop from Alonso, and that's not going to help him in getting out in this race. Pierce and Sainz come out as well, and now it's going to be a drag race for Oscar Piastri to potentially undercut them all. And well, this is a perfect opportunity for Oscar Piastri to pick up some big points in the championship and also go and chase down Max Verstappen. A big moment in the championship for Oscar Piastri. And now, with Hamilton and West out of the points as it stands, we're going to get an absolute dogfight for the World Championship potentially when it comes to Abu Dhabi. Well, keep an eye on Lewis Hamilton now. Hayes is the man in front of him who needs to be passed by the Scarlet Ferrari to try and maybe get into the points playing positions. All the stops are done then. All the strategy's over. It's a straight race to the finish now for these drivers. And well, West need to get past the experienced veteran of Fernando Alonso. Hamilton in the meantime. He's looking to make a move. The DRS train in front of him. If he can keep this going, this momentum, Lewis Hamilton, you can see Oscar Piastri ahead of him. But Lewis Hamilton on the back of Sonny Hayes now, and Hayes is looking to try and make a move of his own. Down in towards turn 1. Down the inside he goes on Liam Lawson. And this could play into the hands of Lewis Hamilton just a little bit. Hayes and Lawson side by side, and Hayes goes straight through and streaks through into 9th position. Lawson and Hamilton now in the background looking to try and fight it out now for the last points playing position. And well, Lawson, I think, will be pleased with that one. West got past Alonso as well on the main straight, so a good move from him. Yuki Tsunoda in the meantime, he's really picked up some form in recent races. Yuki's been doing very nicely. But now, it's going to be an interesting finish for these drivers. Will West jump Hamilton then? Will Hamilton start to make a move up through the field? Will Lando Norris hold out to George Russell and Max Verstappen up the top of the tree? All the million-dollar questions that are going on here in Formula 1 tonight. Liam Lawson now is going to be under so much pressure from Lewis Hamilton. As we come onto the main straight we come, and Hamilton pulls the right-hand side immediately and gets the move done even before we've even reached the exit of the pit lane. Not bad for Lewis at all, but Liam, well, not been the most competitive this year in the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls machine, but well, maybe next year we will see some more excitement. West getting closer to Lawson and to Hamilton at the same time. The two APX GPs 8th and 9th for the minute behind Esteban Ocon. Could have a bit more of a impact on this race. We'll need to see, but I'm not expecting any team orders from... Oh, and well, Hayes was sliding out of turn 6, and that was a big slide. Very, very big slide. Well, there is more potentially to come in the next few laps, but Sonny Hayes will soon have Lewis Hamilton on his tail, and I think West is on the back of Lawson as well, looking up towards the final corner. Well, they have DRS all the way down the main straight now, and so then the two Ferraris are in towards the points playing positions, and Lawson might also be jumped by Alonso here in the meantime for good measure from the Aston Martin. And well, maybe Fernando Alonso will be on for a third world title next year in 2026. We'll need to see. But West and Hamilton are now within a second of each other, and this is where it's going to get exciting. Two championship protagonists at the top of the tree, scrapping over the last point here in Qatar. And well, with just over 10 laps to go now, Lando Norris leads the way, and he's, I think, enjoying being at the top. He's only won once this season, in this year's season, and well, yes, his only win was in Canada, which was a good win in Canada actually for Lando Norris. He had a very commanding lead, but he's not been as strong as Oscar Piastri has been this year. West, though, a little bit wide on exit of turn 15, sorry. He will have the run at the final corner, maybe to try and take on Lewis Hamilton, but Hamilton is right on the back of Sonny Hayes, and Tsunoda going very slowly in the meantime, and Pierce jumps up into P7. And well, Hamilton is still stuck on the end of this little train we've got here up towards P6, and he knows how big these points could be for Lewis Hamilton if he wants to try and beat West to the world title and to his own 8th. He knows what he needs to do. 10 to go here in Qatar. And well, West is really trying to close up on Lewis Hamilton, trying the outside. Hamilton cuts him off in the meantime for good measure. And well, this is going to get feisty between the two drivers now. Hamilton, in the meantime, will ride on board of him as we come through turns 11. And Alonso is also trying to get in the mix too. Alonso might try to switch back as we come out of turn 11 now. Up towards 12, 13, 14. And well, I think West might have just caught himself a little bit lucky. And well, the two of them, although West and Hamilton haven't really had a big battle all season long, well, this could be it. DRS will be in play as we come out the final corner. West goes wide, Tsunoda boxes, but now Hayes is the only protection that Lewis Hamilton could have coming up towards turn 1. Looking towards the outside. West going to try one to the inside, and I think he went a little bit deep. On the exit, Hamilton, contact made between the two of them, and that might just about be that. And more contact, more bodyweight going flying. Hamilton's lost a lot of front wing. And well, how many spare front wings have they got at Ferrari this evening? For Hamilton and West are still battling it out. And I don't think West realises what he's done. Lewis Hamilton is going to be falling all the way down the order now. And he will have to make a pit stop because that front wing is not going to hold out for the rest of the race. And I think if I was in Lewis's shoes, I'd be furious. Absolutely furious that my teammate's done that. All about bringing it home, making sure that the World Championship is going back to Maranello. But right now, it might not be. because Verstappen and Piastri are going to put monumental pressure now on Lewis Hamilton. And well, this is going to be... Oh, and Kimi Antonelli is right up on the back of Lewis now. I think West has got damage too. We can see on the Hamilton boxes. This is an awful, awful moment in Lewis Hamilton's World Championship. And well, what's it going to be these last few laps? Soft tyres, I don't think it's going to be enough for the 7-time world champion. Such a shame for Ferrari and also for Formula 1 as well, and fans all around the world. That should never be happening in that race. And if West receives a small penalty, I wouldn't be surprised. But well, we know what's going to happen now. We certainly know what could happen now. So, Verstappen then, coming out the final corner, will take the most points out of the championship contenders today. If he was to stay where he was, he would be on 348 points at the moment. So 348 points. Piastri, in the meantime, would also move up to 355 points. Hamilton wouldn't score, making it 358. West is dropping down, and I think, is this another stop for West? He is stopping. Well, another twist in the tail then. Hard tyres, and I have a feeling that might have been a slow puncture with this battle out with Hamilton. And so, what do you reckon? West isn't going to score either. So we put Verstappen 16 points behind, but Piastri 9 points behind. Hamilton would stay on 6 for the meantime. And, well, West, Hamilton, something's not right with... Well, we knew the hards wouldn't go to the end, so actually West has made the right choice potentially to go on to the medium tyre, but he's got a lot of catching up to do over the next few laps to try and make his way back up through the field. 15 seconds away from the points. So then, let's have a look up through the field then. And Joshua Pearce will be under pressure with Esteban Ocon on the main straight. Apex GP finishing, having another double points finish in their World Championship hopes, and I think this will be a tremendous result for them if they were to finish so strongly, so highly. And well, Kate McKenna's done wonders with that. Apex GP machine. And also be big points as well for Esteban Ocon. And Sauers of Hulkenberg and Bortoleto. Everyone wants to see Bortoleto get his only point in Formula 1 this season. It'd be such a shame if he didn't, but Sauber have announced they're going to retain their drivers for next year anyways. So it's not all lost. It's not all lost in that aspect, but well, Joshua Pearce is pulled out a couple of seconds to Ocon, but we'll see. Well, Hamilton and West will be in a big inquest at Maranello tomorrow morning. At this rate, and well, we have to see what's going on with McLaren 2, not Lando Norris with a second win of the season. Russell up in P2. Russell's done extremely well this season with the Mercedes, and what's not been the most competitive car, but still in the fight for a win potentially. If Norris was to retire now, Russell would take the race lead and potentially have his first win of the season. So it's all to play for then. Hamilton passed Lawson into 20th position. But Ferrari, well, we're going to be asking for the next week what went wrong with the car, and well, it's a mighty, mighty shame what happened to Ferrari tonight. Infighting is never a good thing in your team, and well, Norris and Piastri will know that too. Your race leader now, Lando Norris, and it's all kind of quieting down now. Don't want to put the commentator's curse on it, but every possibility that we could see a few bits of magic happen, and I think it's what's happened to Sonny Hayes. He's just got dropped down past Alonso. Good overtake there from Fernando Alonso. We saw it in the commentary box window down the inside at turn 1, and a perfect move to kick off Fernando's charge up the field then. Kimi Antonelli next behind, 3.8 seconds for Sonny Hayes, so he should hold that out by the end of the race, but as Antonelli puts on a charge for 1 second a lap, so everything's possible. Everything's possible in Formula 1. Well then, we have potentially got a huge title fight set up for Abu Dhabi then. Max Verstappen, the 4-time world champion, looking to become 5-time winner. The first to do 5 in a row since Michael Schumacher in 2004. We have Oscar Piastri looking for a maiden world title. And maybe this year might it be his year. He's caught so well in the championship, picked up some form in recent races, and now he's going to be so close to the top of the championship, within 9 points. If he was to finish here, right now, it will be all over. Potentially for Weston Hamilton. 9 points away, so if Weston to finish lower than third or lower, and Piastri won in Abu Dhabi, he would be the world champion. Let's have a look then at the Ferraris. Lewis Hamilton after an 8th. The 8th that he was so unfortunately stolen from him back in 2021. A lot of fans believe it was stolen from him. Others believe that Max Verstappen was the rightful winner. We all know what happened that day. And 8 times a champion he could become. The last step and become the first Ferrari world champion since Kimi Räikkönen. Or might it be this man? The championship leader, past Isaac Hadjar. Going up towards turn 11 now. But could he be the first rookie world champion in many years? You're given the Ferrari seat and replace Charles Leclerc at the last minute, but it's worked out brilliantly for him and Ferrari. So we will have to see. Anything and everything to play for. Don't miss it, Abu Dhabi, the 19th of December here on Westie TV. You don't want to miss this one at all. What a night this could be, and well, Lando Norris, I think, must be wishing he was in this fight too for the world title. Reliability hadn't helped him all year long, but finally he might be having a chance to win a race here in Qatar and add, well, some silverware to his silverware all the way into his cabinet. well, Oscar Piastri, I'm sure, will be looking forward to the prospect of going toe-to-toe for a world championship. He won't be the only rookie going, or only person, going into a world championship fight for the first time. West also, and Hamilton and Verstappen, both experienced, and we'll be looking forward to this one. 100% looking forward to this one. Not many battles that are right now very close on track. This tends to happen at Qatar without a safety car, but we had one last year in 2024, but to debris, but it's not going to happen this year, I don't think. Not with so little time left to go. And no one's really close enough, unfortunately, for us to really zoom in on a battle or anything of the sort. But George Russell, what a race he's had today. What a race from George Russell and Mercedes. Magical night for George Russell. Well, it will be one more lap for Lando Norris to take. And George Russell can see him in his sights, but I don't think there's anything that's going to happen now that will stop Lando Norris from winning this race. Well, we thought we'd expect more wins after his win in Canada early this year, but it hasn't really been all that much for Lando Norris in recent times. His teammate Oscar Piastri's kind of stolen the limelight off him. The number one driver position of McLaren, the experienced head in the team. Well, as he comes up through towards turn 11 we come now, Lando Norris is one sector away from his second win of the season. We've seen some great racing today, with battles, teammate clashes, but Norris kept his head cool all the way through. As he comes up towards the final few corners now, Lando Norris is going to win here in Qatar. But it's all going to be close for the championship. Lando Norris then crosses the line to win here in Qatar. What a brilliant race that is. And well, Verstappen and Piastri will look towards the World Championship in Abu Dhabi next week. It's going to be a battle all the way to lap 58. Oscar Piastri, in the meantime, crosses the line to close the gap to the two Ferraris. And we are not long to go. Carlos Sainz home in a brilliant fifth. But no Ferrari points scored. Lando Norris is your winner. Verstappen and Piastri close the gap. What a race we've had here in Qatar. What a fantastic day then for Lando Norris and for McLaren. And now it's all going to go down to the wire next week. George Russell finishes in second and Max Verstappen in third to round out the podium places. A brilliant day for Lando Norris though, getting his second win of the season. Oscar Piastri comes home in fourth, a great recovery drive from the championship contender. It's all going to go down to next week, down to the wire potentially. Carlos Sainz in fifth, Joshua Pearce and Sonny Hayes sixth and ninth, Ocon seventh, Alonso eighth, and Kimi Antonelli rounds out the top 10. So looking towards the Drivers' Championship then, this is what you're all looking forward to. West 364, Hamilton 358. Piastri 355, Verstappen 348. It's all going to go down to the wire next week. Don't miss it. 19th of December, Abu Dhabi, the big four-way finale.